Hello everyone, today I'm here to bring you my August book haul. So I have quite a few books this month. I did not think I was going to have barely any because there wasn't a ton of new releases of books that I was interested in this month, but I have a lot of September and October and some recently published, so yeah, there's quite a few. I only bought one book this month. I've been on like a kind of book buying ban. I've been saving up my money because I know September is going to be such a huge book release month that I knew it was going to put a damper on my wallet. So I was like, I'll not buy a lot in July and August to save money for September. So I only bought one book. So the rest of these books are either from book boxes or publishers. Again, I am not bragging at all. I just want to share with you the books I was sent, and I'm so grateful that I was sent all of these books. And all of them sound really, really interesting, and all of them are going to be added to my TBR pile with great sadness because I want to read them all immediately. So without further ado, let's get into the book haul. The first book I want to talk about is the one book that I bought this month, and it's going to be one that probably not a lot of you guys are interested in, so I won't spend too much time on it, but it is The Magic of Motherhood by Ashley Gadd. I actually just saw this in Target the other day, and I've never had a mother book before, and I wanted one. I've been wanting one, honestly, and this is all about like, it's like kind of a memoir, if you will. There's every chapter is like a story from a different mom, so it's a memoir full of stories about being a mom and things like that. It says it's a love letter to mothers everywhere. It's also a faith book, which is really awesome because that's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for kind of a faith mother kind of book, and I have really enjoyed this so far. I'm reading a chapter a night because I want to keep it, I want to read it slow, but the first chapter that I read, I fell in love with it so much. So much of it spoke exactly to me as a mother. So I recommend, if you're a new mom, if you're an expecting mom, if you're just a mom in general, like, you don't have to be a new mom. I guess technically I'm not a new mom anymore because I have like a 3-year-old. I would still recommend this book. I think it's so great. It just lifts moms up everywhere, which is exactly what we should be doing. So I highly recommend it. It was only like 12 bucks, and it's just beautiful. Like, there's no dust jacket, which I love. I'm not a fan of dust jackets. It's beautiful. Like, the way it's set up is beautiful. And I believe the author of this actually owns this blog called Coffee and Crumbs, which is also great. But either way, I recommend this book so much if you're a mom. I think this is an amazing book. Moving on to the books I was sent for review. I have quite a few of them, so forgive me. The first set of books was sent me by Penguin Teen. They sent me their Game Changer set, and I'm sure you've seen this on floating around on Instagram for a while. It's a set of 5 books, and it's coming, and each one of them are coming out starting, I think, in September all the way to October. Penguin Teen is having a book every single week released, and it's set in this really, really awesome box, so I'll deconstruct it, show you what books are in it. So what's cool when you look at it, and I'll show you the first one. The first one is Warcross by Marie Lu, and here's the cover. I am so excited to read this book. I'm reading it first thing in September. This is all about a teenage girl that is a hacker, and she hacks into this game called Warcross, which is a virtual reality world, and she actually hacks into like this tournament of Warcross, and she becomes an overnight sensation. The creator of Warcross himself actually invites her to Japan to be like a spy in the international tournament of Warcross because there's some security issues. So it's all about her being whisked off to Japan and to be like actually in the game of Warcross. So I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and it's on my September TBR, and I can't wait to read it. This book is Jane Unlimited by Kristen Kishore. Wait till you see this cover. Ooh, so shiny, so holographic. Holographic, is that the right word? This is a new standalone book by Kristen Kishore, and spoiler warning, I have not read any Kristen Kishore books. She is mostly known for her Graceling series. I don't know about this one, honestly, either. It's about a girl named Jane who loses her aunt, and she gets invited to this extravagant island mansion, and then she learns at this mansion that she has 5 choices that could ultimately determine the course of her newly untethered life, and every choice comes with a price. She might fall in love, she might lose her life, she might solve a mystery, and she might find her calling. She might come face to face with herself at this mansion. I can't pronounce the name of it, that's why I'm not saying it. Anything is possible. So it's kind of mysterious. I guess it's about her going to this mansion, and she has these 5 choices, and they can have great repercussions, and I don't know. I haven't heard too much about this book, so I'll have to research on the reviews on it, but based on the cover, it looks stunning. The next book is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins, which I'm kind of peeved about because they sent me a partial copy. When I first opened this up, I was like, wow, this is a really short book. Like, it's only 151 pages. When I go to the last page, it says, cover it for yourself on September 26th, dying to read the rest. All the other arcs they sent me were full arcs, but not this one. So I'm like, I mean, what, you left out like 100 pages? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of peeved about it, but whatever. Either way, I got a partial arc. You know, that's awesome. This is Stephanie Perkins' new novels, and if you haven't heard of Stephanie Perkins, she writes usually really, really cutesy contemporary books, and this is like a teenage Scream story, so quite different, and I'm quite excited to read it. I'm planning to read it in October. It does come out September, but it's the perfect October read. I've heard mixed reviews about this, honestly. Some people like it, some people don't. I'll have to see. Either way, I think it's going to be a good time, and it'll probably scare me because I'm such a scaredy cat. The next book is Things I'm Seeing Without You, I forget the author, by Peter Bogdani. 17-year-old Tess Fowler has dropped out of high school. She can barely function after learning Jonah's death. Jonah, the boy she knew only through text and heartfelt emails. Oh, is it? So Jonah, I think a guy that she was in love with, committed suicide, and she never saw it coming. So she continues to write Jonah after he's gone, working through her grief and looking for answers. But now she's finding solace in the unlikely of places. Her father's alternative funeral business. Who knew that arranging last rites for an aging burlesque dancer or prize dying could be so life-affirming? Interesting. It's very, very interesting. It sounds almost like My Girl, because if you've seen the movie, her dad works at a funeral parlor, so it's reminiscent of that. But this also sounds like a very heart-wrenching contemporary. Like, this wasn't on my radar, but after reading the synopsis, I kind of want to read it. Like, it sounds like it's gonna break my heart into 1,000 pieces. The last book they sent me in the Game Changer set is A Forest of 1,000 Lanterns by Julie C. Dale. It's got a snake on there, which is probably very popular right now because of Taylor Swift. It says The Wrath and the Dawn meets Snow White and the Huntsman in this dark and mystical East Asian fantasy reimagining of the Evil Queen legend about one peasant's girl quest to become empress. Also, I've been hearing amazing things about this book as well, so that is awesome. Thank you so much to Penguin for sending me those 5 books that are coming out very, very soon. Like, I think more than half of them, I think at least 3 of them I'm going to read, like, as they come out, because they all sound amazing, honestly. But if you've heard of any of them or read any of them, let me know. Moving on, I have a book from Disney Hyperion, and that is Clicked. This is a middle grade novel, and this is by Tamara Ireland Stone. I read a book of hers, I forgot what it's called, a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. This is all about a girl that went to a summer coding camp and made this app. Like, she created this app. That's insane. He made this app called Clicked, and Clicked is, Clicked pairs users based on common interest and sends them on a fun scavenger hunt to find each other. And it's a hit, like millions of downloads. She goes to school following the year and everybody just loves her because she's made this app. And then like kind of a glitch happens within the app and it starts to like reveals people's deepest, darkest secrets. So like their partner in Clicked, I think. I don't know, it sounds really awesome. I find the world of coding so fascinating. I think it's so complicated. Like, my husband's in IT, and when he explains things to me, I'm like, what? So people that work with computers and can code, I think are just brilliant. Like, they could do all those things that I have no, like, notion on how to do. So I've heard also really good things about this one, and I need to read more middle grade books, and this sounds like it's such a fun, interesting kind of mystery of a middle grade book. Disney Hyperion also sent me another middle grade novel. I wasn't expecting this one at all, but I was so happy when I got it in the mail, and that is The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexander Bracken. Let's talk about the cover, folks, because look at this cover. It is so stunning, and even when you open it, the end papers, like, what is this? It's beautiful. So this is a new book by Alexander Bracken. It's a middle grade book. I don't know if it's a standalone or a series. Oh my gosh, look at the spine. This is all about Prosper Redding, and he has a demon that lives inside him. So I think in his family, the Redding family, I think one of his great somethings made a deal with a demon to like bring his family like wealth and fortune and things like that. And things have kind of gone a disarray with that deal, and so the demon just never, I guess, collected his end of the deal, I believe. So now he's coming back, and he decides to live inside Prosper Redding until he figure out what he wants, and it's basically all about that. It's about a demon that lives inside this boy, and it sounds really, really interesting, and you know, I really want to read this. I've heard this is the perfect book to read near Halloween, so I'm thinking about reading it during Halloween. And I mean, it's a middle grade book, so it can't be too scary. At least I hope not. But like I said, chicken right here. But I mean, I hope the cover lives up to the book because I'm obsessed with this cover. Delacorte Press sent me Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. This is E. Lockhart's newest book. I read We Were Liars a few years ago when it was all of the rage. That book blew up like nobody's business, and I read it and I didn't love it. Like at the end I was like, what? So I don't know. E. Lockhart has a tendency to write these very, very short novels, and you're confused during the majority of them, and the ending smacks you in the face. So I think this will probably do the same. Also, she is known for writing very, very vague synopsises. Like, you have to go into her books not knowing barely anything and being okay with that. So basically all this book says is about a person named Imogen, a girl named Imogen, and a person named Jewel, and they have an intense friendship, a disappearance, a murder, maybe 2, a bad romance, maybe 3, a girl who refuses to give people what they want from her, and a girl who refuses to be the person she once was. So Genuine Fraud. My guess is these two girls decide they must look alike, so they decide to do like a parent trap thing, they switch lives almost. So that's my guess. I don't know, because with her books, you don't know much. But either way, I will definitely read this because as much as I didn't love We Were Liars, it was an intriguing book. Like, it kept me interested the entire course of the book. So I like her writing style. And this is only, it's not even 300 pages. So short book, and I plan to read it. So either way, I'm excited I got it in the mail. Then I got a book from Harper Teen, and that is House of Furies. Look at this cover. So Halloweenish. I'm getting all the Halloween books, and I'm like really excited for it. I'm usually not because I'm a scary guy, but I'm growing. This book is by Madeline Rokes, I believe, and this is all about, I think, a girl that like runs away from her boarding school, and she gets this job at a boarding house, and she learns that the house's mysterious owner, Mr. Morningside, is providing much more than lodging for his guests. It's a place of judgment, and his staff are meant to execute their own brand of dark justice on those who are past being saved. And basically this girl begins to fear for a young man who is different from the other guest, and I don't know, like, it's, in this first book is a new Gothic horror series. Photographs and illustrations help bring life to a terrifying house you'll never want to visit. Oh, this has illustrations in it? See? It pays to read the dust jacket, people. Let's see. I will say, it's very beautifully made. Like, look at that. Oh, here's some of the illustrations. I love the dark blue vibe we got going on. Ooh, Autumn 1808 in England. This sounds very interesting. I might have to check this one out. Again, I wasn't on my radar. I never even knew about this book. So that's awesome that I love getting random books. Like, these illustrations are really cool. Like, I think it'll probably add to the book a ton. But I'll have to do some research about this book because, again, this sounds like a perfect October read. Oh, Lord. I'm already nervous for my October TBR because I'm like half of my TBR stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna read you in October. I'm gonna read you. This is gonna be interesting. I also got 2 books from Bloomsbury. The first one being No Filter by Orlyn Collins. I love this cover. It's a wave. This is all about a girl named Emerald whose fans on her social media account thinks that she has the perfect life, she has the perfect family, she's got lots of money and all these other things, but she really keeps her real life hidden, not on social media, which is very, you know, kind of hypocritical. So basically she's sent to stay with her grandmother in an isolated beach town with spotty Wi-Fi while her mother recovers and her father works non-stop. And she basically is on this island pretty much alone, and then she meets a boy named Liam, and you can guess what's from there. And basically this book is about no filter. Like, the whole notion of it is no filter. Like, you know, you see this hashtags, no filter. This is what real life is all about for her. Emerald's gonna have to really be true and honest to everybody she meets instead of lying like she does with social media. More Than We Can Tell by Bridget Kimura. I also got her book last year. I forget what it's called. It was kind of like a You've Got Mail spin, but I didn't really enjoy it. I kind of DNF'd it. This is about a guy named Reeve who has adoptive loving parents, and it's also about Emma Blue's parents are constantly fighting. And so Emma and Reeve meet. They're both longing to share their secrets. Characters that have very, very different family lives, and I think about them coming together. This is a heart-wrenching story of two teens with big secrets and a love that could set them free. This one I'm kind of interested in. Like I said, I wasn't really feeling her last book, so I'm kind of iffy on this book. Then I got a book from Simon Pulse that I actually requested. I was so excited I got approved for it, and that is Feral Youth. This is a novel in 10 points of view, and it's from Sean David Hutcherson and 9 other powerhouse authors. I'm so excited to read this. I plan to read this in September. That is when this comes out. Look on the back. It says all the authors. This is it's inspired by the Canterbury Tales. Really why it draws me in. I am a huge fan of Canterbury Tales. I really loved it in high school, honestly. I don't think anybody else did. I really enjoyed it. But it's about these teens that go to this camp, and this camp is like kind of their last ditch effort. These teens have kind of really troubled lives, and this camp is supposed to like set them straight, and basically they get trained in wilderness and camping and things like that, and they have to survive their way back to the campground, and they're also telling stories meanwhile. I don't know much about it. I don't even know much about it. All these authors in this are very, very kind of gritty authors. I think we have Suzanne Young, we have Robin Talley, Tim Florin, Justina Ireland, Brandy Colbert, E.C. Myers. A lot of these authors I've never read anything from, which is why I'm also excited for it, because I want to experience new authors. Either way, I can't wait to read this one. The next 2 books I have are my book of the month picks I picked out for August. It has its own video if you want to see it. It'll be right here. The first one I picked was Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. This is about a girl named Suzette who comes home from boarding school, and she doesn't want to go back to boarding school because her stepbrother has just been recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and he really needs her around for emotional support. She starts falling for the same girl that her brother is in love with, only this girl is detrimental, which I have learned means very, very harmful to his mental health. So it's about Suzette dealing with her feelings to this person that's really not helping her brother at all, and she's kind of probably really grappling with that. It sounds like it's going to be an awesome mental health book, and I've heard amazing things about this author. And the other book I chose was Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips, one I'm still debating on if I'll ever read it or not. This is all about a mother, and she takes her 4-year-old son to the zoo, and I believe a gunman enters, and it's about her, you know, trying to escape this gunman with her son, and like knowing the hidden passageways in the zoo. And this book takes place in like 3 hours. I've heard very mixed reviews about it. Some people say it's very gripping, very amazing. A lot of other people are not a fan of it. I'm in the camp of I'm terrified to read it. I'm a mom. I have a 3-year-old son. The thought of this whole synopsis scares me. I kind of don't even read books where it's about like if a kid's been kidnapped or if there's a murder going on about a kid. I can't stomach that. So I don't know what I was thinking selecting this book, but we shall see. Time will tell if I'm able to read this or not. The last set of books I have are from my book boxes this month. The first books I want to show you are from my Outcrate box. The first one of that is Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. So I want to read this in October, but this has a whole bunch of other short stories because Sleepy Hollow is literally 28 pages. Probably don't need to tell you what Sleepy Hollow is about, but I am obsessed with this cover. The book that was featured in the August box of Outcrate is The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones. This book I'm also kind of iffy about. I've just not heard the best things about it. This is all about a girl that kind of like trades her heart to a demon for her to like be happy because her home life is really, really bad. So it's about her being heartless quintessentially and her learning to deal with that, and about, you know, demon dealing and things of that nature. So I might have to give it another try. I just wasn't feeling it when I first tried reading it. We'll have to see. Then I have Everything All at Once by Katrina Leno, which I got in my uppercase box, and I have already read this book. As soon as I got it in my uppercase box and I read the synopsis of it, I was like, I have to read this immediately. This is all about a girl named Lottie, and Lottie's aunt has just passed away. Lottie was very close to her aunt, and her aunt was also a best-selling middle grade author. Like, imagine her aunt almost like as J.K. Rowling. She created this really popular middle grade series. So what happens is her aunt leaves Lottie a series of letters after she has passed away of telling her, you know, to do certain things, and it's all about her. Also, it's all about Lottie dealing with her anxiety and things like that. I really wanted to love this book. I love the overall theme of it. I love the way what it was about. I loved a lot of it. Overall, I think it fell kind of short for me. I felt like it could have been a little bit more, honestly, but I would recommend this book, honestly. Like, it's a fast read. It's a gripping read. You also get little snippets of her aunt's books in this book, which I really actually enjoyed and would love to read, honestly, like the middle grade books, but I just wanted more from it. But I think I would recommend it, I would say. So the last two books I have are Fairy Loot books, so forgive me. I actually have the July one to show you because I kind of get them late because I live in the States and Fairy Loot is shipped from the UK, but July's book was Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody. This is like a Caraval type of book. Serena, and she can like make illusions. She has made her whole family illusions. They're not real. You can, you know, walk through them. They're not real. But then one day her family, her illusions family, gets murdered, and she's like, how did that happen? So basically this is like a murder mystery and that carnival element to it. I've heard good things about this book, and again, it sounds like a really great fall read. Get yourself together on this October thing. Ugh. But yeah, I'm really excited to read it. And the August one that just came in the mail like literally yesterday is Wicked Like Wildfire by Lana Popovic. Look at this cover. Oh, stunning. I don't know what this book's about at all. This is about, it says, all the women in Iris's and Melena's family are born with a gleam, a unique way of manipulating beauty through magic. So Iris sees flowers as fractures and turns her kaleidoscope visions into glasswork. Her twin sister interprets moods as music, and their cold, distant mother, Jasmina, bakes scenery into decadent treats at the confectionery. Basically, their mom forbids them to share their gleams with anyone, and above that all, forbids them to fall in love. For being discovered could shatter their quiet lives they built in their tucked away seaside town. But, of course, the girls are sick of the rules. And a mysterious white-haired woman attacks their mother and leaves her hovering between life and death. The sisters unearth an ancient curse that daunts their life. A wicked bargain that masquerades as a blessing and binds the twins' fates and hearts to a force larger than life. To save each other, they must untangle 1,000 years of lies and reveal their own hurtful secrets. But even the deepest sacrifice might not be enough. Oh, this sounds really interesting, honestly. I may have to check that out. Like, it's about like kind of magic and sisterhood and family. Intriguing. There is my August book haul. There's a lot of books, but a lot of these books I'm honestly very, very excited to read, so that's always awesome. So thank you so much to the book boxes and publishers for sending me these books. I'm so eternally grateful. If you have heard of any of these books or read any of them, please let me know down below which one's your favorite, which ones would you recommend, and thus forth, because you guys really helped me out with my TBR pile. Like, let's be real here, my October TBR is already, I don't even know what it is, but I'm excited for it regardless. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.